Hi everyone, and welcome to And So On. My name is Lisa, and today's video is going to be all about my November makes and the 1 week, 1 pattern challenge. I'm going to show you all of my outfits that I did for that challenge. So in November, I made 5 items. It felt like more, but it was only 5. That's still a lot, but still, I was like, really, only 5? Okay. So I'm going to take you through one at a time the things that I made, and to start off with is what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the Blackwood cardigan from Helen's Closet. I got this fabric from Blackbird Fabrics, and I think if you saw my Blackbird fabric unboxing video, which I'll put here if you missed it, you'll see this fabric. So this is called the Melange. It's called this Melange knit in rouge. And I think they still have some, maybe not in the red, I'm not sure. I'll double check and I'll put it below. But let me stand up so I can show you what it looks like. And I made the long version, so you can barely even see the edge of it there, but it comes kind of mid thigh, and I'm pretty tall, so that works for me. I'm wearing it with my Ursula stretch suede skirt, which I love, and I'm actually considering making a longer version of this in that navy blue that I have. But yeah, this, at first I wasn't sure about this because I thought, oh gosh, I can't, like, I kept doing this, like I kept wanting, and I thought, I don't know if I like it or not, but I like it. I've decided I like it. I love the clean line of it. I love how it sits right at the back of your neck, and it falls so beautifully. This fabric is perfect for it. I love that it has nice long cuffs because I'm always pulling stuff down because I have pretty long arms. I love the deep pockets and the length. I'm actually dying to make one of the hacks that I saw where it's almost like duster length, super, super long. So yeah, I'm sure that'll factor into my my December plans. That video will be coming up in a couple days. So that is make number 1, Helen's Closet Blackwood cardigan, and I'll put some video in here of me wearing it so you can see it in another outfit. It was super comfy, and yeah, I absolutely love it. And it was quite an easy sew as well, so definitely worth checking out. The other thing I'm wearing in that video are the cigarette pants from Maker's Atelier. I finally finished them. I think this was more a fail on my part choosing the fabric. That's exactly what the problem was. They are really kind of soft and more drapey than I thought. After I washed it, when I bought the fabric, I could tell already that it was a little more like soft legging material without the recovery than it was cigarette pant material. I need something more structured. But the pattern itself is great. It just has a little waistband facing here. I did the zip on the side. That was a nice thing to practice another zipper. And they definitely fit. I want to put some, because it's so stretchy throughout the day, I find them starting to fall down. So I do want to put some belt loops on it so I can wear them more often. And I do want to make this pattern again, but I want to make it with a more structured fabric. I really think a more structured fabric will kind of give me that chic cigarette pant shape. These are more comfy knit pants, which you can always use an extra pair of, and I know I'm going to wear them for sure a lot in the winter and when I just want to throw something on that's neutral and easy. So I will get lots of wear out of them. They're just not exactly what I was hoping for. Okay. Next, I have my Fen Dress. So I kind of bought this a bit on a whim. I was at Fabric Spark and they had the paper pattern, and I don't buy paper patterns very often. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna get the Fen Dress. I had seen a couple people make it recently, and I know it's not at all a new pattern, but I had this sheet. This is a flannel, 100% cotton flannel sheet that I got, that I thrifted not long ago. Actually, that's the back of the dress. Oh, here's the front. Okay. So I made a wearable toile out of this. It's very cozy. I added little yellow pockets just for fun. Oh, that's a little bit of fluff. I added little yellow pockets to the inside just for fun. And I did the version that has sort of a slightly shorter front than back. I made this, so the size that I made, and I'll put a video in here of me wearing it, I do like it. It's very comfortable. I've worn it several times. It's a great, just, throw on day dress, nice and casual. The flannel makes it really cozy. So when I'm sitting in the car and it's still cold, to have a little something extra on my legs is really, really nice. I almost want to add an elastic waistband to this because the size that I made, I can just barely kind of get it over me with the non-elastic waistband. So I definitely want to make this again in the spring and the summer. Like I'd love to make one in linen, or, you know, maybe that Nanny Eero fabric I have that I've planned so many things for my 1.5 meters that I bought, 2 meters. But yeah, I could definitely see making it again in the spring. And I can also see taking that pattern apart and adding the skirt onto other things using the top. Like I think that pattern itself is going to be really, really useful to have. And I think it was a great use for a, you know, $2 or $3 thrifted sheet or whatever it was. Yay. Okay, so the next 2 makes have to do with one week, one pattern. So I'll probably work them into that. So 1 week, one pattern was something that started a couple of years ago, as far as I know. This is the first time I've ever participated. And Sewisfaction, Sewisfaction. Oh, I always get confused. One or the other. Well, I should figure that out. Sewisfaction. Sewisfaction was running it this year, which was awesome. And it was so fun to see what other people do with patterns. I got to, you know, follow a bunch of new accounts on Instagram, and that was really fun. Actually, I just passed 1,000 followers on Instagram as well, which is really fun. If you haven't checked out my Instagram feed yet, please do. It's just my name, Lisa Kish is my handle, and the link is below. But I really enjoyed the challenge of, you know, changing up a pattern and seeing what I could do with it. And I think without this 1 week, one pattern challenge, I probably wouldn't have gone to the trouble of being really creative with a pattern. And I think that's the point of it. So I used, the toaster sweater, the Soho 7 toaster sweater. Part of it was practicality. I already had 4 of them. So when you already have 4 of something, you don't really, you know, need to make a whole bunch of stuff for it. But I did make 2 hacks. I made 2 dress versions because I thought, well, the top, I can't just keep rotating tops. I want to have something fun to do. So I'm going to be looking at my Instagram feed as we're doing this so I can remember in what order I did things, but I'll put the photos up here. So on day 1, I did my very favorite toaster, which is my Jersey Scuba nut toaster number 1, and it's still my favorite. I've washed it a couple times now. It still looks great. I love the way the neck sits up. As a matter of fact, I do wish with one of the ones I made later that I had almost put interfacing in it, because I like that. Some people don't like something against their neck, but I actually love in the winter to have that coziness. So this sweater I can almost hide myself in. So I wore it with just a pair of jeans and some comfy socks. It was just a comfy home day. And then day 2 is one of my first makes. So I made this cute dress from the fabric that you would have seen in my fabric haul video. So this was, I think it was either $2.50 or $3 a yard. So, I mean, this dress cost me less than $5, not including the pattern, of course. And all I did was I just cut the pattern along the length and shorten line. And I measured from my armpit to where I wanted it to be and figured out the length for that. And then I set it down and just cut around it. And then I took the one that I had cut around and I put it, you know, further down to make sure that the stripes would match. Pattern matching, made sure the stripes would match, and it sewed up really quick. Initially, I wanted a tunic version. I wanted a tunic length, but it just was too long for it to be a tunic length. I measured something off, or I didn't really realize how long a tunic is supposed to be. So it's more dress length, but I'm totally fine with that. It's very comfortable. I put the, you know, this at the bottom, this edging, whatever, I don't know what you call that, but and it's super, super comfy. Now I want to show you my pattern matching, and I'm going to tell you that, I'm going to show you the better side though. That's fair, right? You would do the same. Okay, so there. So that's pretty good, right? Not 100%, but pretty darn good. And do you know how I did it? I did not use pins. See? So I only put a pin at the top, a pin where the arm met the body, and that was it. And as I was sewing, I would literally lift up each stripe, match it to the side, put it under the machine, lift it up, match it to the side, put it under the machine. And one of the things that I do for my knits, and I'm going to do a knit video next, that was one of the big requests, but I use a walking foot. And I use the walking foot because I don't like things to slip around, and with the walking foot, it really makes sure that everything stays even and stays together. And so I think for this dress, that was really, really useful. And this is, it's just like wearing a big long t-shirt. So I used it on 2 days. The first day I used it was day 2, and you can see the photo here. All I did was I belted it to make it a little bit shorter, and then kind of bluesed out the top a little bit and gave it a little bit of a more of a blousey look. Very, very comfortable. You could it's definitely secret pajamas material. Okay, so that was day 2. Day 3, you can see right here, is my original toaster sweater number 1, and I called it a wearable toile. I made it from a thrifted sweatshirt. So the key to making this out of a thrifted sweatshirt, I will tell you, is find a very large sweatshirt, but make sure that it is raglan. Because if you get a regular one, you're not gonna have enough fabric for the shape of the raglan sleeve. So make sure you buy a raglan sweatshirt that is double extra large or triple extra large or whatever you need to get what you want out of it. And also hold on to the ribbing at the bottom, because I didn't have enough to add a waistband in the same fabric. And so I just reattached the ribbing from the bottom. Anyway, this is really, really cute. It is cropped, and that's not always my favorite, but I've still worn it several times, and it's very, very cute. And I love the color blocking. It's very fun. Okay, day 4. Day 4 was my toaster sweater number 2 in stretch brown suede, and I'll put that right here. I wore it with a self-drafted, actually no, it wasn't self-drafted. It was a knit skirt that I made with the bottom of the Phoebe dress from Sew Over It. It fits me perfectly, and it's literally just 2 pieces and a waistband zigzagged into it. Very, very comfortable. And I added boots and leggings underneath, and it was just this very warm, kind of very autumnal, cozy outfit. And I'm definitely gonna be wearing that one again. It was nice to kind of be forced to try out that top with something other than just jeans, because that's mostly what I've worn it with. Day 5. Day 5 was a special one for me. I think it was my favorite. I finally used that blushy beige sweater knit that I bought from Blackbird Fabrics. And I told you, and I've said a couple times, that I wanted to make a turtleneck dress to the floor. And I did that. I used the toaster number 1, so I used the turtleneck one, and I made this baby. Oh, that's the back. Let me turn around and hold it up for you. Hello, Dreamboat. This is dreamy. And someone said it looks like Princess Leia, which cracks me up, because I don't really know much about Star Wars, but I do know who Princess Leia is. It is just so drapey and lovely, and I stole this drawstring from an old sweatshirt that I had where it was around the hood, and I find I never wear a drawstring around the hood anyway, so I just yanked it out and I added this in right to the floor. Oh, I've got something to snip off there. Oh, you guys always see my little mistakes. That's all right. I trust you don't care. Anyway, so this was this blushy beige, and I used the top of the toaster sweater and the bottom of the Florence dress. So the new Florence dress from Sew Over It, I got it on their what do you call it? Black Friday sale. And I just used the skirt pattern from that and the instructions on how to attach the top and the bottom to create the casing for the drawstring. And I did have to make the Florence a little bit narrower, because I think that's mostly for wovens, and this is a knit. And as it is, it's really long, but I love it. And I'll put some pictures up here of the day that I wore it. I felt so good in this. I feel it's like wearing a blanket or wearing a sleeping bag. Who wouldn't want that? You know, I've already cuddled up on the couch with it several times. I've worn it too with a belt, which I think makes it a little more like something you could wear out. I feel it looks a little bit like pajamas, not secret pajamas, like actual pajamas. But I don't care, because it's just so nice. And you can bet that this hack is going to factor into my December plans, because all winter, all I want to do is hang out in knits to the floor. That's it. Okay, my iPad just died. I had to stop to recharge. I also made myself some scrambled eggs and an avocado and got some lovely energy into my body. So if the framing isn't exactly the same, that's why. Scrambled eggs and avocado. Anyway, Day 6 is what we are on, and day 6 was my first, I think it was my first, yeah, toaster sweater number 2 in the pink Ponte, and I absolutely love this. It's so comfortable. I always get so many compliments on it. I just wore it with jeans and boots, and I also wore it with my Oomie. This pattern is by Oomie Knits, which you can find on Ravelry, and also her Instagram handle is great. I'll link her below. This is one of my very first knits, actually, and I love it because I can just throw it on, and it just gives me an extra layer of warmth. This wool was not expensive. I think it was like $7 or $8 a ball, and I bought, I think, 3 or 4 balls of it. And I just, when the pink was done, I started on the gray. When the gray was done, I started on the darker gray. So this is a great pattern. I totally recommend if you're a knitter, even if you're a beginner knitter, this is a great pattern. This is just a tube. You know, when I first started knitting, I joked that I was excellent at tubes of all shapes and sizes because once you learn how to join something in the round, when you're knitting a tube, essentially you just keep knitting, knit. You don't have to turn your work. You don't have to do purls if you don't want to, unless you're doing a ribbing. It's just knit. And then with this pattern, eventually you do some increases to make it a little larger so it comes over your shoulder. And at the end, I added a ribbing, which is not in the pattern because I wanted it to be tighter to my body. And this rounded part, that just happens, like, you know, how knit fabric does that. Well, knitting does the same thing. So I think I'm gonna be making another one of these pretty soon as well. But yeah, if you're a beginner knitter or a more experienced knitter, I absolutely recommend this pattern. I believe it's a free pattern. And if you're a new knitter, just have someone on hand or be willing to YouTube increases, because that's the only thing you have to do is some increases to make it larger. But other than that, it's just knitting a tube. So last day is the red dress again, and this time I wore it without a belt, just kind of let it flow, added a scarf, jeans, skinny jeans, and boots. And yeah, this dress has actually turned out so wearable and even more kind of flexible and comfortable than I thought it was. I was worried because it is very kind of almost trapeze. It has a little more flow than I intended, but I really like it a lot. So I think I might end up doing another one. And actually I saw a friend that day. I went for coffee with a friend and she wants me to make one for her. So I have some fabric that I'm gonna make up one for her, and it's a really quick sew. So it is great to use as a gift. Speaking of gifts, I am all done my November makes, and so my next video will be my December plans, which will include some gifts for my kids, maybe some gifts for other people's kids. I'm still kind of figuring it out and writing it all down, and also a couple things for me. I'm also in December going to be working again on my capsule wardrobe, and if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to put it in the cards. I think it's something that really appeals to people, and it's funny because since I've been sewing, I've had a lot of comments from friends of friends or friends who see me on Facebook or whatever, and they go, gosh, you must have so many clothes, like look at all the things you're making. But I think what's happening is that my style is changing, my style is evolving, and now I'm making things that really fit within my style, and I kind of only just want to wear those things. So I'm going to be working on making a capsule wardrobe for winter that has all of my previous favorites, but also my new favorites, and putting those together so that everything is neat and tidy, which is my huge challenge. It's such a challenge for me to keep things neat and tidy. And so the best way for me to do that is to just keep a limited amount of things in my bedroom. And it doesn't mean I'm throwing out old things necessarily. I'll put them in a bin upstairs and maybe rotate some stuff in later in the winter or next year. But I think for me, fewer choices means that I am less overwhelmed by clutter and happier in my space. So it just makes a lot of sense. So keep an eye out for that. That's coming soon too. Okay, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please comment below and let me know maybe what your favorite make was out of this video, or what your favorite day of OWOP was. I'd love to hear what you think. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys later on in the week. Bye-bye.